guys, Rumblysuperset here, back again, doing a weapon power Ringo. Kind of different from our normal Ringo build. I normally go CP, but we're doing the whole Koshka Fortress Ringo comp. A lot of people are doing this, so we wanted to do it and kind of just try it out, see how it goes. The theory behind this particular build or comp is that it's a early aggression comp. You just hard invade in the early game with Koshka Fortress because they have such phenomenal chase and just downright brutal damage, especially with Fortress, with that bleed damage in the early game. It's really strong. And then you just snowball, and it just ends up that they just get really fed, and then laner kind of just rotates down when he needs to and keeps them that way. A lot of the variations come from this particular comp. It's just Fortress and Koshka are the main components of the comp, but you can kind of deviate from that in the lane. I've seen some Saws, I've seen some other heroes such as Vox, but most commonly Ringo, weapon power Ringo. So here we have Ringo versus Ringo. We're both weapon power. They get the gank, they have that early aggression, so they have a really fast farm clear, so they're able to come and gank really fast. This enables myself to kind of excel in lane a little bit more than the other Ringo, because now he has to come back and run all the way back while I'm getting a farm. Hopefully most of my last hits I'm getting. There are a few here and there like that I do miss, but hey, whatever. No one's perfect. But yeah, sometimes it's a poor judgment of like the amount of damage that's being put out by the minions, and then me trying to time that accordingly. But you know, practice makes perfect. So they also have a Koshka and a Fortress they have a Koshka Ardent. So it's a little bit different comp. Ours is a little bit more heavy on the offensive, whereas theirs is slightly more durable. Here's where it gets really scary, because I didn't realize it's gonna be a scout trap already. I guess I should have expected that because of the fact that he did get invaded early, and so now he got a scout trap to kind of prevent that, and what happened was I took the brunt of that damage. I was gonna rotate down to help my teammates, and Ringo stopped me, and he did a good job doing that. But here we go again. Ben was gonna go in, try to get some more damage on him, but not able to take him out, so he's gonna just rotate back to his back to Fortress. I'm kind of staying back a little bit because I'm not sure if they're waiting in that brush. And Koshka can just pounce. Arden will follow up with a Vanguard and slow me, and I'll die because Ringo just burst me down as well. So I'm waiting for the minions to come to me, and then trying to get these last hits. I would have missed that one, so I used my Achilles shot to secure that last hit. Sometimes the energy expended is worth the last hit for sure, even if it's just a small minion. Every little bit makes a difference. So you see here, I'm still just getting these freaking minions. I don't want to go so fast because a lot of times it's hard to gauge when the turret damage is going to be put out. And so therefore I try to do it at a reasonable rate, but sometimes, like I said, I just miss my last hits. Alright, so I'm 25. I don't know what theirs is. I'm just going to do some poke here because I come in through my brush. There's no point in why I couldn't do some damage just to kind of like thwart them off. But yeah, so just keeping the farm going, keeping the lane clear so the turret can't take damage. My teammates are trying to be aggressive, but it's starting to hurt a bit, and we have to be really careful here. We had a really hard time in the early game, honestly. They did a good job defending against the jungle invades, and the Ringo was pretty much on par with me in terms of build or just play style. I would say he's probably just as skilled as I am as Ringo. So it was a pretty scary 1v1 in lane. I always go tension bow first. Ringo has a fairly weaker early game, so I get tension bow to kind of supplement for that weakness. And I wouldn't say he's like the weakest early game. It's just he has a slighter, weaker early game, especially if you're going CP. It's even worse if you're CP. But so I get the tension bow regardless of what build I'm going now. It does fall off late game, so ultimately, if you full build, at that point you would sell it and then get a better item, such as like a Tyrant's Monocle or something. Here, Ben was getting chased by Koshka. I slowed and bursted her down a bit so that she would back off. We don't want to lose our teammates if we don't have to. Koshka goes back in and dies. We take her out, but these scout traps take out Ben. These guys expended a lot of money. I would say the Arden, not everybody, but Arden spent a lot of money on Scout Trap this entire match, and it was a nuisance, but I think ultimately they paid the price because of it. Right there, I was actually trying to stay on top of Fortress because I wanted to try to take the last hit for him, because if he got hit one more time by Ringo, potentially he would have died, but he actually survived. He actually got hit. I wasn't able to take that blow for him, but I tried to see if maybe I can soften a lot of the damage done to him so he can survive. A lot of times, it's a tactic called stacking, I guess you would call it, where a lot of times the tank does this. He stays on top of his allies, and so everybody is forced to target whoever is in that group, and for some reason it always targets the tank. And you're just like, as a stutter stepper, especially Ringo, you're just like, oh my goodness, I can't hit who I need to hit because they're stacked. I keep hitting the tank because that's all I can target. And that's just a good tactic to kind of cushion the damage being done to your carries. Here they go for the initiating with that ultimate. I'm going to back off because Ringo is going to hurt. But we do pick him up. That was nice. I'm going to ulting. I was ulting Ringo right there. I didn't know if he was going to go down, honestly. And then I made the mistake. So what happened was Ringo went in. I tried to burst him down to kind of stop him from the chase, from the dive. I did. The turret took him out. Not knowing it was taking him out, I tried to ult him just in case he got away, but he already died. I wasted my ult, unfortunately. Then Koshka was running. I underestimated her ability to jump back in and take me out with a burst of damage, and I took the death from that. I should have just backed out. I should have just went back to the safety of my turret. Don't try to get the kill because I was already low. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to sit back and realize, hey, this is not a good idea. So here again, tons of scout trap. I was getting annoyed. I was like, oh my god, freaking scout traps are everywhere. What do I do? And so now I'm already half health. They're engaging. At this point, I'm like, okay, well, they went down fast, and now I'm dead. And so I'm like, you know what? I might as well just try to take somebody out with me. I'm using everything I can to survive, but it's not enough. But at least I took somebody with me. They do happen to push lane, I believe they're doing. Yeah, they push lane. They want to get that damage going on the turret because they have a few seconds to do some damage. There they go. They might even take it out. I don't remember. No, I don't think they can't. Well, maybe. I don't know. Wow, they did get it. Okay, so that was the point in which they got it. Just in time. Ben can't do much, so he just backs out. I just take the farm. It's like, whatever. It's alright. It's not the end of the world. It just sucks for me. So I'm 2 across the board. 62 farms at 8 minutes. I could be doing better, but, no one's perfect. There's a lot of pressure in lane this entire match so far, and so therefore a lot of farms have missed. We do get Ringo here, I believe. I ulted him to initiate. Everybody else goes in and takes him out. We're good. Arden waits his renewal, so Ben points it out. He's like, Arden just used his renewal, and so that was awesome because now they're down that. And so I'm gonna do a few hits on the turret, but then I see them engage. I'm like, all right, I gotta come down and help burst down Koshka. Here she is. She's doing tons of damage. Ben stuns. Ben dies. I believe. No, he gets out. He gets out. Sweet. Okay. With a sliver of health. I can actually probably go in and try to burst down Arden, but I was really short on energy, so it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to back out. Here's the scout trap, though. I was like, are you serious? I'm going to port. They see me. Here they come. And I'm just like, oh my lord. And I'm like, well, let me try to take out Arden. Nothing. Oh, whoops. I have people on my game sending me invites. But yeah, so that was another thing. You gotta really think about the fact that it is their early game. Respawn times are really short. Ringo has a fast run speed if he pops his B, and therefore with Arden combined with that, he can get from point A to point B quite fast. I didn't really take that into consideration, and I bit the dust for it. Another one of those things you just kind of have to learn to, okay, next time that happens, if we take them out, and it's been a little while, we gotta know, hey, we gotta just not stay and try to teleport, just keep running. Koshka almost goes down. Ringo is gonna be in a little bit of trouble, I think. Yeah, he gets taken out. We do get Koshka, so that's where it starts to turn. But Arden does do an amazing freaking gauntlet there. I used my reflex block to block that hit from the freaking minion mine. And then Fortress disengages, I ult, and I get out. And it's like, okay, there it is. There's the ace. Thank God. Freaking just barely able to target Arden in time. Now we're going to take out the gold mine, of course, because they're all down. They're probably already respawned at this point, but we have enough time where we can burst it down. I'm just going to stutter step the heck out of this thing. Messing up a few times. And we get it. So that's good goal for us. I'm going to get probably an Atlas Fulgent, I think I do. Do I? I think I do. I do this because of Ringo. Ringo is getting really deadly, and I need to stop him. So I get the Atlas Fulgent. So I know he's probably going to do the same to me, so I need to at least get the same item so that we're on equal footing. Equal playing field here, so level playing field. So I'm just waiting. I don't want to I don't want to position myself in a point where that lane brush Ringo sometimes will stay in there. I've from experience. There's been a lot of people who I played against who are Ringo, and they love to just stay in there. And then when you come to rotate back to lane, they'll burst you down. And so I kind of wanted to just be safe. And then Vinaz is like, you know what, I got to take the risk and go because I can't rotate back around the other way because it'll take too long. So now they're going for the gold mine. We can't do anything, so we're just like, you know what, just let them have it. We already got the bulk of the gold. It's okay. They got 65 each. It's not a whole lot. It's like a minion and a half. So now they're flaring. They flared a try. Ringo's back in lane on his team. I'm kind of unsure, like, should we engage? But then Arden goes in. We're just like, okay. So at this point, I ult. Koshka gets me in my ult. That's unfortunate. So I try to help burst down Koshka. I run over to Ringo. I know he's doing tons of damage, so I Atlas him. And then that's really what I think helped keep us alive because honestly, I saw he was like stutter stepping like a champ, and it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna stop him dead in his tracks. No more stutter stepping for you. And so I rushed over there with my boots and used Atlas. And I think that was a good play. I don't know. What do you guys think? So now we're on the turret here. We want to do a little bit of damage, but we were just maintaining our assumptions on the respawn times being short, so we were backing off just to be safe. There's another scout trap. Always the scout trap. I always fall for it. It's one of my pet peeves that I tend to do and I need to fix. Just be wary. Like, I need to like anticipate scout traps a little bit better. So this is pretty cool. I can kind of analyze my gameplay and kind of say, okay, this is what I need to do to fix myself. I'm not going to see everything though, because I only see what I feel like I do. But sometimes, like, I think it's a good play when in reality, if other people see the game, they'll be like, no, that actually would have been better if you did this. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't see that. So now I'm just getting my farm. I don't want to extend too far from my turret. It's a little bit risky, so I'm kind of just staying around this area so I can rush back to turret if I need to. I have my finger on the reflex block just in case Koshka comes out and tries to stun me, and then they try to isolate me. That way I can get away. I tend to, if I overextend it just a little bit, I tend to hover my finger over the reflex block just out of anticipation of an ult coming out, stunning me, or just a stun in general coming out to stop me in my tracks and then them to burst me down. It's one of my habits I have. I've learned over time that I need to really just be ready to push that reflex block because I'm a little bit old. My reaction times are a little bit slower than some, so I have to have like these tricks to make myself a little bit faster. I have different things I do at different points of which and what I'm doing. So now I'm just trying to clear lane because we're thinking about pushing here in a little bit. I think Ben's getting back or going back to get an infusion. And I think I go back to... No, I just stay. No, I do go back. Okay, I was gonna say. I was wasting time. I was just like, you know what, I'll go back. I'll get an infusion as well. We want to push. And I was just like, okay, let's do this. So, I believe Ben is infused, I'm infused, and Fortress is infused. At the very least, two of us are. So we really want to engage on this, but I don't think it goes in our favor this time. because we're on the defensive. We want to be on the offensive. There they are. They're in the lane. I get double infused. Koshka gets a little bit caught out. Here's where it goes south. He gets ulted. I ult Koshka. Try to burst her down. I get her. I go over and actually Atlas Ringo again. So it did go in our favor. I forgot. There's another one I think that comes later on that actually hurt us. But yeah, so that was pretty good. The ult came out and we can pretty much collect our thoughts after the Ringo ult and kind of address how we're going to do this for a few seconds. So that was convenient. A lot of times, like, it's always better to ult and have your team go as your ult is traveling and not go as soon as it lands. That way they get flustered rather than like, okay, I got the ult, it's down, now we can address what's left. So now we take Kraken. I cleared lane real quick. That way we can take Kraken and have a little bit of a push. That's why I ran back to lane first while he was taking Kraken. But yeah, and then now I'm just going to take my second boots. Gets a little bit of health, so it's defense, technically, and some run speed, which is nice. I can help assist my teammates at a faster rate. So now I have an ult up. I'm ready to ult. Everybody's ready to engage. They're focused on Kraken, so I'm going to ult the Koshka. And she doesn't take damage because of the actual Arden barrier, which is lame. I Atlas. I get Atlas, I believe. No. Did I? I could have sworn I saw Ringo's Atlas come out too. But we managed to do what we needed to do. I was like, I'm going to take out the turret, guys, while you guys do that, because I cannot follow up. I don't have energy. No point in me trying to chase something I can't catch, so I'm going to take out the turret. So now we try to take out the second turret. We're getting a little bit worried here, though, because they're coming back up. We don't want to just like get destroyed. So Bladeheart summons his wolves to kind of make them back off so we can finish off the turrets. That's the only reason why he used it. So that they would be like, okay, they're going to engage, we got to back up a little bit. But no, in reality, we're just taking the turret for the money. Now, at this point, we're like, okay, we got to run. They got Kraken. Let's just get out. Let's bounce. I'm like, at this point, I know scout traps are everywhere probably. So I'm like, I'm just going to port because I want to be safe and have a 100% chance to be safe. So at this point, I grab the breaking point. I know the other Ringo has one. And I'm just like, you know what? I think it's a good purchase for myself as well. I think I'm a little bit more built than he is. He has shields, so he has that split armor, whereas I just have the Atlas to kind of counter him and potentially just a little bit of Koshka because it slows her basic attack a little bit. So I mean, it's a little bit of a dampener on her damage, but not by much. Not in armor statistic wise, just in attack speed wise. Alright, so now at this point, we can see that they're flaring. A bunch of brushers are checking for us. They're going to check lane. There it is. And so now we're just like, okay, they've just wasted a lot of money on flares. Now they think we're not even nearby. We see them in lane, so now we're going to catch them off guard. This is what we want to do. We wanted to just make sure we catch them off guard. So here we are. At this point, though, we don't know if we want to go in. So we're just like, okay. I kind of like was trying to see if maybe I wanted to just be separate from them in case Koshka pounces in and does her truly fun. If I'm not in that group, so that's one less stack. But then again, I was just like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna stick like glue on these freaking teammates of mine. So I clear lane just a little bit. That way our lane's not pushed. We go back. I'm gonna get another infusion because none of them are infused. So I actually got an infusion. And I believe so did... No one went back except for myself. I went back and get infusion because I saw that they weren't infused. And it's just like, you know what? I want to have the upper hand because Ringo's probably on the same level as me right now in terms of just, like I said, skill and like almost the same build. So I don't know really who has an advantage. So I wanted to have that slight advantage with infusion. There we go. So that's where we infused. I was already infused. So now we're ready to engage. We have an upper hand because I don't think they're infused. Here's Koshka. I'm looking for an ult. I was like, you know what? I can't see anybody. I'm going to ult Arden because he's going to go to his teammates. So I did happen to get the splash damage on Koshka. I'm going to Atlas Ringo just in case. And then take him out. And now we got Arden. I go in, use my Crucible, or Reflex Block, to chase Arden. And I think we actually end up getting him here in a second. My breaking point is getting stacked, so it's good. More damage for me. Not too shabby. I think this is game right here. We push pretty heavy. They have a fairly long cooldown. I checked real quick. It's like, okay, no, they have plenty of time to respawn. So we're going to go ahead and push. You always want to check. If you're going to push base, you're going to be in the vicinity of the respawn, check their respawn time. Because if you don't, you're taking a huge risk. Because if they're like 5 seconds from being up and you're trying to get the Vayne, you can get aced and then they can turn it around and potentially just ace your team. And then they'll push a bunch of turrets. Ace again when your teammate comes up by himself. You know? You don't want to be respawning at different points in the game. You want it all respawn at the same time if need be. Unless like you think you can hold off the onslaught of damage from the teammates long enough for your team to come back up again. So there it is. That was game. GG. Hope you guys enjoyed this, Ringo, and I'll see you guys next time. Later!